You gonna eat for me? You gonna eat for me? Oh yeah, it looks like she's real. Oh yeah! Yes! I didn't know that I was gonna be surrounded by reptiles for the rest of my life. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do, and I was willing to work hard to do it. Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome to the vlog. Hey Eric, have you ever heard of mukbang?
Mukbang? Oh yeah, I think that's a creature out in Oregon there.
Eric, have you ever heard of mukbang?
No.
Have you ever heard of mukbang?
Oh, what?
Abby, have you ever heard of mukbang?
I haven't, but it sounds delicious.
So a mukbang is a new internet sensation where basically a host of an internet show or something of that sort ingests a bunch of food while interacting with their fan.
For 2 hours. Literally. Questions? If you have any questions, I'm gonna finally...
People want to see us eat a lot, so I'm not gonna go back.
But we're about to change things up here on this vlog. We're actually gonna do a snake mukbang. That's right, well, the snakes aren't gonna actually interact with you guys. Well, at least a little bit, but regardless, they are gonna eat a lot. So what do you say we just go ahead and get started by feeding some big snakes? Remember, Lucy is due to eat. Let's hope she eats some rabbits. So I figure we'll go ahead and get this mukbang started with trying to feed Lucy. Remember, she just laid eggs. This will be her first meal. She really needs some food in her to kind of get herself a little bit more calmed down. Let's see what she'll do. Come on, girl. You gonna eat for me? You gonna eat for me? Oh yeah, it looks like she's real. Oh yeah! Yes! Awesome! Good job! Oh yeah, she is ready. She was not messing around. She is ready to go. This is a great sign. This really means that she should get back to her old self. If we can get 3 or 4 good meals into her, get some of her body weight back on, I think she's gonna kind of calm down a tremendous amount. But for now, she is definitely looking at me. I'm gonna give her a second and then we'll get back to this. So in the traditional sense, a mukbang would be where whoever is doing it, the host, would be talking to the audience while they're eating. So in this case, the big snakes are eating and we're time-lapsing them. So I figure I'll go ahead and just share some kind of story time with you while these guys are eating. And the fact is that I've been working with big snakes since I was 15 years old. And I've often told the story that my very first snake ever as a pet, you know, I'm not talking about garter snakes I caught, but the animal that I bought at a pet shop, took home and kept in my room was actually a baby Burmese python. That's right. I always tell people the worst first snake you could ever get would be a big giant snake like a Burmese or a reticulated python, because you always want to have experience before you get something like that. But the truth is that was a long time ago and there wasn't a lot of information out there, and honestly the pet shop I worked at had told me that they only got about 6 to 8 foot. And I believed them because I just started working there just like a few weeks earlier, and I thought that they knew what they were talking about. It wasn't until a few months later that I ended up getting a book on Burmese pythons, and there were some pictures of some like 18 or 19 footers that were like 200 plus pounds. And I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But the truth is from that day all the way till now, there's never been a time in all of those years where I haven't had a large constrictor snake like a Burmese or a reticulated python or an anaconda or a rock python. And I've worked with all kinds of really large snakes, and I don't know, I'm just fascinated with them. I think they're amazing, and even animals like Lucy that are a little bit cantankerous, I think that she's absolutely an amazing animal, and I couldn't imagine life without having these large constricting snakes. I don't know, there's just something about that huge animal. I mean, they're crazy. They're so amazing and so majestic. I mean, an animal that can be 150, 200 plus pounds, no arms, no legs, but yet can move around and be so agile. And to think that they can literally get prey in the wild is crazy to me. I mean, it's understandable when you have a really small snake that hides in some brush and a mouse comes walking by and it grabs the mouse. It's a whole other thing when you have a 20-foot snake in the wild. Like, how does the prey not see them? How are they such great ambush hunters that they're able to get their prey? So I just think that big snakes are amazing, and they aren't for everybody. I mean, people need to have experience. They certainly don't need to get a big snake as a macho thing, because you should never have a big snake or a venomous snake as a like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, I have this animal. You should keep them, you should respect them, you should never fear them, but you definitely have to respect them because they pack a big punch. But what amazing animals. As all the snakes continue to feed, I'll continue my story time for you guys. You know, a lot of people always ask me, what is it like to work with reptiles for a living. And what you have to remember is that I've been doing it my whole life. You know, since I was a teenager, this is what I did. Now, there were no professional snake breeders when I started, and I didn't know that it was a career path. And it was something that I just knew I wanted to work with reptiles. I wanted to work with animals. I mean, that's all I ever wanted to do. And I was just kind of lucky to be in the right place at the right time. There was actually a guy named Mark Bell, who now has a huge facility called Reptile Industries, that lived in the area and supplied the pet shop that I worked at. And we became friends. And at the time, he just had a couple hundred snakes. He was breeding it on the side, making a few extra bucks, but nothing really too major. He still had a job where he was actually inspecting gas welds on gas lines and stuff like that. But I got to know Mark, and as he grew from a couple hundred snakes to 1,000 snakes to 1,500 snakes to 2,000 snakes, I kind of just learned from him. And I was fortunate that he really took me under his wing and taught me so much. And now this day, Mark has the largest collection of reptiles in the world, believe it or not. He's down in Naples, Florida, and his place is absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, he doesn't really show it off, so I can't go down there and show it to you guys, but they have an absolutely incredible place. But my point is that that was my opportunity to kind of follow my dreams, and I didn't know what was going to happen in life. You know, I didn't know that I was going to be surrounded by reptiles for the rest of my life. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do, and I was willing to work hard to do it. And I'm going to be honest, I've told people this all the time. I work harder now than I could ever work if I just had a job or did some career. I worked harder over the last 28 years than I could ever imagine doing anything else. I mean, never a day off, working 12, 18, 20-hour days, sometimes even 24 hours a day, but it's all worth it because I love this so much. And all these years later, it's been an amazing journey. You know, we grew our collection to one of the largest in the world, then we downsized to a more moderate size so that I could spend more time traveling and vlogging and doing all the other things. Now we're opening up the Reptarium. We have Reptile Prime, the product company. We have so many great things going on. So it's always an evolution. And I guess in the end, as these snakes are finishing up eating, what I always want to keep telling you guys is if it's something that you're passionate about and you want to do it, even if there doesn't seem to be a path to do it, just keep following your dreams, because when you do that and you finally able to live that dream, it truly is a blessing. It's true what they always say, the journey is what matters, not the destination. Over the last almost 3 decades, I've definitely had a wild journey, but the truth is, I know the best is yet to come.
The hare finally woke up from his nap. Time to get going, he thought. And off he went faster than he had ever run before. He dashed as quickly as anyone could ever have to the finish line, where he met the tortoise, who was patiently awaiting his arrival. I love that part of the story.
Now that we're done with that mukbang, I actually wanted to show you some of the babies that I cut the other day in the incubator that have now hatched out. And I always say that when you're cutting eggs and you're looking at babies in the egg, sometimes you see stuff that turns out to not be what it is. This is a perfect example of that. This is that animal I thought was a banana super chocolate spinner. Well, it turns out that it's actually just a banana chocolate spinner. Still an amazing animal, but unfortunately, we didn't hit the super version on this. And as a matter of fact, in the entire clutch, we didn't hit any super chocolates, which was a little bit disappointing. Nonetheless, there's still some really beautiful animals in there. Take a look at this one right here. This is actually a banana chocolate spider ball python, and the chocolate gene with the banana gene is so good. Once these guys shed out, oh my gosh, they are gonna look amazing. And speaking of amazing, take a look at that right there. That is actually a banana chocolate ball python, and that kind of shows you how the banana and chocolate mix together. I mean, just that purplish, rich, and browns coming through. That's truly amazing. That's why I was really bummed out that we didn't hit the super chocolate, but hey, you can't hit them all. We still had some really amazing babies in that clutch. Then of course there was that fire yellow belly bred to a dragonfly, which is a pastel fire pinstripe. And of course the very first egg that we cut was this little beauty here, which is a black-eyed Lucy. And a lot of them have yellow blotching on them, but this one is absolutely just stark white with those black eyes with ruby little pupils. That is a gorgeous animal. Then we had these two hatch out, which are both really pretty. Look at how gorgeous this one is right here. That is actually just a fire pinstripe yellow belly. Look at how gorgeous it is. And then this one here is actually just a dragonfly, which again is just like the dad, which is a pastel, a fire, and a pinstripe. And then we had this one hatch out, which of course is the one that I really was hoping to produce out of this clutch. This is actually a dragonfly yellow belly. Look at how amazing that animal is right there. So again, that's a pastel, it's a fire, it's a pinstripe, and it's a yellow belly, and it's a beauty. Then that last clutch was actually a pastel crystal bred to a pastel special that turned out to not be a special. so we didn't get any crystals or super specials in it, but we did get some really pretty animals. I mean, I still think this is just an absolutely gorgeously stunning snake right here. This is just a Pastavi or a pastel Mojave ball python. And then this one here is actually the pastel special ball python. You can kind of see that it doesn't look like a normal pastel. That special gene just gives it a lot more blushing, some high whites in the sides, and you can definitely tell. That's why I think the pastel special we bred was kind of one of those borderline animals where I was like, I'm not sure if it is or it isn't, so we raised it up, we bred it, turned out it wasn't, but sure enough, because it was bred to a crystal, some of the babies are gonna be specials just like this one. And to give you the comparison, this would be a normal special ball python, and then this is a normal ball python. You can certainly tell the difference between these two. Again, the special ball python just makes things way more blushed out, kind of a lot of white firing up the sides. It's really a beautiful snake. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an update of what came out of the incubator. So just to give you an idea, the video that you're watching right now took about 9 hours of actual filming between myself and my crew. So there's a lot of work put into it. I'll probably start to edit right now. Probably take me about 4 hours. So today's video is going to be about 13 hours of actual time put in. Not every day is that much, but this video is. So I hope that you guys enjoyed our kind of weird take on the whole mukbang thing with the snakes. I think it was actually funny and we had a really good time doing it. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for all your support. You mean the world to me, and I really do love you guys so much. And I'm not just saying it, I really truly mean it. Do me a couple favors before we get out of here. Can you smash that like button as well as turn those post notifications on? Remember to make a comment down below because I love reading about you guys. Be kind to someone today, and I promise I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.